Hey everyone, it's Will, Gamer Dad, with another video for you. So we finally grinded out the 37 million XP required to level up Azure Flutter to level 10. And so we're going to challenge the second and more difficult fight of Isuka's Manifest. Now if you haven't already, make sure you like and subscribe to my channel, I really appreciate it. I also do have a Patreon account for those who want to support me this way. So as everyone has guessed, this fight is definitely more challenging than the first fight, although I'm bringing a more moderate and interesting team in order to combat Isuka's Azure Flutter and see how we do. So I will say that it did take quite a few tries to kind of get the hang of things, and I'll explain why as we go along in the video. So the first one, we're going to use a modified Garyu, and instead of having his AS form, we're going to actually use the Raging Fire Grasta that we got from level 7 of the Extreme Boss Rush, aka Battle Simulator. And then we're just going to use that to establish Fire Zone, as well as using Queens of Mephistopheles, Scales of Themis, as well as Tree of Life for a bunch of shields. Now in turn 2, we're just going to go straight attacking and get 4 hits. Note that we do have Flare Thrust on Mana in order for her to contribute to the AF bar. On turn 3 here, we're going to activate an AF. Note that I have applied Pain because we do have some Pain Grasses that's been modified with the future Garulita modifications, and so we're just going to hit both Azure Flutters over and over again. Now the key to this is to use Explosion up to 3 stacks so that you have that int boost for Garyu, after which you try to use Explosion, which is the AoE here. So, if you hit it enough times, you should be able to bring both Azure Flutters to the 50% mark. This battle does have an HP stopper, and each of them actually has a 50% HP stopper. And you actually want to bring both of them down to HP 50% at the same time. The reason why is, note that she casts Butterfly's Dream twice. Each one of them casts it once, and that actually removes all buffs and debuffs from your side as well as their side. And so Pain doesn't count. However, you do have to reapply all your shields, otherwise it's going to get a lot tougher. Now in this case, turn 1 is all about application of shields. Note that we also added Burning Shield, which is a 50% wind shield against wind attacks from Isuka's Manifest. Now the key here now is to apply 4 attacks in turn 2. With all the shields up and the regen from Tree of Life, as well as those other shields, we do survive turn 2, and we're now going to split the attack and attack on the far left one instead of the far right one. We're going to keep both of them HP-wise roughly equal. Now in turn 3, note that the 2 attacks are 2 separate attacks, and so RNG can actually play a part there, where if they target the same unit, you will lose a unit and may have to restart the fight. In the case of turn 4, we're going to activate an AF. Now note that we only have a half bar, and so it's really key that we land a few criticals with Inferno, the AoE from Garyu. Otherwise, you will be forced to play around with RNG. Now, if you aren't able to beat both of them, like in this case, kill the far right one, because on turn 4 she has 3 stacks, which allows her to do a mega AoE that does over 4k even with all the shields I have in play, and so I did have to reset the video a number of different times. Note that the far left Azure Flutter, after ending the first one, the buffs and debuffs have all faded. We're going to reapply here because it's now turn 4, and note that all our buffs and debuffs only last for 3 turns. She hasn't stacked up anything yet, and so since she only has a sliver of life, we're just going to do all-out attacks and see if that's enough to end the boss. Keep in mind that we also have Rosetta normal style, and she does have a heal which helps us maintain the fight from getting slaughtered here. You can see that even the single hit from Lunar Laceration was over 3k on mana, and if it was just a little bit stronger, we would have lost our unit. That being said, only 1 round left. We're going to attack over and over again, and the battle is won. This was actually pretty fun. I definitely recommend if you have a really overpowered team, instead of doing a 2 or 3 turn kill, which is very fun as well, try challenging yourself with a alternate and more meme-ish team, shall I say. Anyways, after all that struggle, we finally have defeated Azure Flutter and now have an extra manifest weapon in our arsenal. In the next couple days, I'll definitely work on Isuka and playing around with her manifest, and then I'll put a 5-star review video once we're done. And there you have it. 1 more gold badge, 100 more chronostones. Nice.
Stop flexing, Dad.
Sometimes you just have to flex. Alright, so bear in mind that this team is definitely heavily modified with a bunch of enhanced Grasta. I will say that in this particular team, all the focus is on Garyu with his normal style. I did try with AS Garyu and it wasn't enough damage, being that you definitely don't have the manifest of Garyu boosting the staff damage by 50% as well as int boost on himself. And so I did use the extra slot since I have over 200 Shadow on Garyu to put that final Raging Fire stance Grasta on him. Miaro does carry a little bit of Grasta in order to share with everyone, and of course Isuka's just there in the back. Thanks for watching! We'll see you next time.